Today I wanted to talk about 2022 in travel, but I wanted to do it personally. Yesterday I did a travel trends video that's really for the whole industry, but what I'm doing in 2022 is slightly different. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about it. It's a snowy day here in Boise. I'm doing some travel dreaming. And so I wanted to tell you the top things I plan to do in travel in 2022. So number one, I really want to explore my own state and my own region a little bit more. I live in Idaho, which when I was growing up, I did not like it here. There was nothing here I felt. I wanted to get out. I moved away twice in my life and I moved back, and sometimes where you're from is the best place on earth. This state is actually super cool. There's a lot of outdoors things to do, a lot of geological features. There is this thing called Craters of the Moon, which is basically just a big, huge lava field from thousands or millions of years ago. There's also a lot of abandoned old gold mining towns. There's a bunch of other stuff. So I plan to do that this year, including, I will tell you, on my list, there is a giant potato hotel. I know it's a little stereotypical, but one of my goals is to stay there this year. So exploring your own state and region, definitely try that this year. That's definitely on my list. So one of the big things I'm working on this year is not getting my hopes up. That is the number two travel thing I have been thinking about. There is so many things happening in our world right now, and if your trip gets canceled, it's tough, right? You have your hopes up on something. Not only that, but you still have a bunch of credits probably from trips getting canceled the last couple years. I know I have a fairly large credit on a Russian airline that I'm probably not going to use for a couple years, and so I don't want another credit on another airline. So we are booking a lot of things last minute. If you saw my travel trends video, you know that is actually one of the trends this year is people are booking last minute because they just don't want to have to work with that. They don't want to have another credit and have to call the airline and do all of that. So my big thing this year is I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm appreciating what I have, and I'm going to be thankful for any amount of travel that I can do this year. So one of my other big things this year is family travel. Family travel is a little bit tough this year. There are certain people that are vaccinated or not vaccinated, or things like that. So that makes it more difficult to travel with family. But we have been talking about doing a trip with my parents to Greece this year because my parents are both, my mother's retired already, but my stepdad is also retiring this year. So that's kind of their big trip, and we've been talking about going with them. Family travel is a huge new thing, multi-generational travel, talking about taking my nieces and nephews on that as well. And that is something a lot of people are doing. We, a couple years ago, did a family trip to Hong Kong. There were 10 of us, my siblings, significant others, kids, my parents, all of that. And that was our really first big family trip together. And it worked out okay because we all kind of did our own things. Sometimes we did stuff together. And so looking at that family travel and really, again, appreciating what you have and doing that with your family, I think is going to be pretty important for me this year. My fourth big thing this year is mindful travel. I sometimes get a little bit too involved with my trips where I'm thinking about where we're going next or what I'm learning or how many steps I'm getting every day. And this year, I just really want to appreciate it. I want to appreciate everything that we have in life, that I have a healthy family, that I'm allowed to travel, and that I can afford it and all of that. And travel is so important in enriching our lives and really improving who we are. And so I just want to be thankful for that. And whether that means a trip to a town next to my town or it means actually being able to travel internationally this year, I really have learned this year that if everybody's healthy, I want to be thankful for that. And so travel this year for me, any amount of travel I can do, I am thankful for it. And I hope that you guys are too. I want to remind you to please subscribe and hit the little bell below because that helps our channel every chance we get. And let me know what your travel plans are this year. I really would love to know what you're thinking about travel in 2022 and where you're planning on heading.